Welcome students. So in today's class we shall be starting with the metabolism of amino acids. So it's generally regarding the catabolic reactions of amino acids. So how they are broken down into different parts. So let us start with this. The amino acid undergoes certain common reactions such as transamination. We all are familiar with this term. Transamination, that means transfer of amino group from one amino acid to another amino acid, followed by deaminations or deamination. The deamination reaction is removal of amino molecules or amines, or generally referred to as liberation of ammonia. The amino group of amino acid is utilized for the formation of urea, which is an excretory end product of the protein metabolism. The carbon skeleton of amino acid is first converted to keto acids. So here is an important point, that the carbon skeleton of amino acids, it is first converted into keto acids. So they will be converted into keto acids, keto form, and ultimately they will meet one or more of the following points. So first of all, let us refer to what happens in this. So this is the general structure for, we can say, let us draw the general structure of an amino acid, alkyl, and this is the carbon skeleton. So the first step will be the removal of this amino acid or this ammonia group, we can say, the liberation of ammonia ions, and then changing it into the keto acid form. So this keto acid form will be further subjected to various reactions. The first one being this keto acid. First is the utilization of energy. It is utilized to liberate energy. The second point is, it is used for synthesis of glucose. Third is diverted for formation of fat or ketone bodies. Now the third step is formation of fats or ketone bodies in ketogenesis. And the last being in production of non-essential amino acids. So this is in production of non-essential amino acids. So now let us see what is an overview of the amino acid metabolism, how this occurs. So this is our amino acid. This amino acid is either used in protein synthesis through the process of translation. It is subjected to protein synthesis by the process of translation. So from where this comes? This amino acid comes from the dietary protein, or it may be a part of body protein. So it's clear to you that this amino acid comes from the two sources, either from our body or from the diet that we intake. It is either used in protein synthesis in formation of other proteins through the process of translation. You must be familiar with the process of transcription and translation, I think so. Also, these amino acids are used in synthesis of nitrogen compounds. So they are also used in synthesis of nitrogen compounds. Now comes the major process of transamination here. Now these amino acids, they are converted into the corresponding keto acids through the process of transamination. And here is an example of, we can say, the alpha ketoglutarate, which is through the process of transamination is converted into glutamate or glutamic acid, and this glutamate undergoes deamination reactions. So here are the deamination reaction, the removal of ammonia molecule, and leads to liberation of ammonia and ultimately removed as urea. Now these keto acids, they are further subjected to different kinds of reactions. Now what they can be? First is, they can be utilized to liberate energy. Also they are involved in synthesis of glucose molecules. They also synthesize the fat, or they are utilized in ketogenesis process and in synthesis or production of non-essential amino acids. So students, this is the general overview of the metabolism of amino acids. So I shall be highlighting this as an overview of amino acid metabolism. So don't get confused. The reactions are quite simple, and now we shall be starting them with the individual reactions. So first of all, let us take with the example of transamination. So the first important reaction in this is transamination. So what is this transamination? So simply a transamination reaction is the transfer of amino group from one amino acid into another amino acid. So they all require a pyridoxal phosphate, a coenzyme that is derived from vitamin B6. So in these reactions, pyridoxal phosphate is utilized as a coenzyme. So this is a derivative of vitamin B6. So it is a reversible reaction, and how does this reaction occurs? Now let us start that amino acid 1, it's a general reaction I am posting here. Amino acid 1, you can see here R1. So the general structure of amino acid 1, or we can draw it with a different color, so it's easier to understand by that. So here is the amino group that will be transferred. It will be involving the transaminase enzyme and a pyridoxal phosphate coenzyme. So this will be converted into keto acid 1. So what is this keto acid 1? So this is the transfer of amino group and addition of the keto group. So the changes will be so one hydrogen will be replaced with the double bond O. See here. So this is the reaction. This is the keto acid one. And how does this reaction takes place? In presence of transaminase enzyme. The amino acid 1 will be changed to form amino acid 2 by the transfer of the amino group. So you can clearly see here that this is the amino acid 2. And similarly a keto acid 2 will also be formed. So this is a keto acid 2. So all these reactions takes place in presence of enzyme transaminase and a coenzyme pyridoxal phosphate. So this is a general reaction for transamination. Now let us understand this with an example of how alanine is converted into alpha ketoglutarate and glutamate, and ultimately a pyruvate molecule is released out. So this will be a general reaction that will be highlighting the mechanism also. So now first of all let us draw the structure of alanine. So all of you are familiar with the structure of alanine. It is containing a methyl group as a side chain. So this is the structure of alanine. So students, this is an example we are going to discuss. This is the structure for alanine. Now this alanine is acting as an amino acid 1. In presence of enzyme glutamate pyruvate transaminase, this is converted into pyruvate molecule. So this is a molecule of pyruvate. And how does this reaction takes place? This takes place in presence of pyridoxal phosphate, and this leads to formation of an enzyme PLP Schiff base and amino acid PLP Schiff base formation. So students, this is a complex reaction of the Schiff's base formation. And in another reaction we can see now how these two reactions will be joining together. I shall be showing you. The next amino acid that is being formed is glutamic acid or glutamate. So this is the amino acid 2. So this is the structure for glutamate. So the same enzyme will be utilized here, that is glutamate pyruvate transaminase. and a keto acid will be formed here. Now this is the structure of alpha ketoglutarate or alpha ketogluteric acid, that is a keto acid. Now they both will be changed to each other in presence of pyridoxal phosphate and pyridoxamine phosphate. So here will be the Schiff base known as pyridoxal phosphate. And similarly, on the other side, the reaction will be completed by formation of another Schiff base known as pyridoxamine phosphate. So the other compound that is formed is pyridoxamine phosphate. These are the intermediates. So this is a general reaction for a transamination. You can see amino acid 1 and 2 and ultimately keto acid 1 and keto acid 2. So this was the complete mechanism of transamination. The next type of reactions are the deamination reactions. Now how these deamination reactions are taking place? Now this is the removal of the amino group. Deamination will be the removal of amino group. So how this deamination reaction takes place? This is of two types, oxidative and non-oxidative deaminations. So we shall be completing only the reactions of these. So the A part is oxidative deamination. So how this oxidative deamination takes place? Let us see. First is by amino acid oxidase enzyme. So in this type of reaction, an amino acid is oxidized and attached to the prosthetic groups. So the removal of an amino group can take place by formation of an amino acid. So students, this is a two-step reaction we can say. So the first reaction takes place is, let us draw the structure of an amino acid first. So I will be drawing the genostructure. So this is an amino acid. So it will be attached to, we can say, the prosthetic group such as FMN, flavin mononucleotide, or it can be FAD, flavin adenine dinucleotides. So they are generally the reversible reactions taking place in presence of enzyme oxidase, L-amino acid oxidase, or simply an oxidase enzyme. So this will be taking place in presence of enzyme oxidase and leads to formation of an amino acid. So this is the formation of an amino acid. In the next step, the amino acid so draw the structure of amino acid here. Now this amino acid will be converted or hydrolyzed in presence of water to form an alpha keto acid and liberates an ammonia molecule. So this amino acid in presence of water undergoes spontaneous degradation to liberate spontaneous hydrolysis, and it liberates the alpha keto acid here. So this is an alpha keto acid and ammonia is liberated here. You can see the ammonia is deaminated, removed from the amino acid group. Now the second is in presence of dehydrogenase enzyme by dehydrogenases. So first one is this, the next will be by glutamic dehydrogenase, we can say, or simply by dehydrogenase. So in this we can discuss the example of glutamic acid, how it is converted to alpha ketoglutarate or alpha ketoglutaric acid. So first of all, let us draw the structure of glutamic acid. So students, this is the structure of glutamic acid. Now in presence of prosthetic groups such as NAD and water, it is converted into, in presence of dehydrogenase enzyme, into alpha ketoglutaric acid. So how this is different from glutamic acid, you can see. Now this is the structure of alpha ketoglutaric acid. This is the formation of keto acids, and ammonia is liberated from it. So this is the general example of by dehydrogenase enzyme, and similarly an oxidase enzyme is also acting on glycine molecule. So we shall be discussing another example of by glycine oxidase. By glycine oxidase. So in this, first of all, let us draw the structure of glycine. It is the simplest form of amino acid in presence of oxygen and water, and the glycine oxidase enzyme it is converted into glyoxylic acid. So this is the structure for glyoxylic acid. So this is the structure for glyoxylic acid, and ammonia is liberated out in presence of one hydrogen peroxide molecule. So these were the oxidative deamination reactions that are taking place in the catabolism of amino acids. The next phase is we shall be discussing the non-oxidative deamination. The next one will be the non-oxidative deamination. So in this category, the first reaction will be by amino acid dehydratase. So the first one will be by dehydratase. So serine, threonine and homoserine are deaminated by specific dehydratases which require the pyridoxal phosphate as a cofactor. So in this reaction we shall be considering the example of serine molecule. So students, this is the structure of serine. Now in presence of enzyme serine hydratase, dehydratase we can say, or simply we can write the dehydratase enzyme. So in presence of dehydratase enzyme, it is converted into the corresponding amino acid. So this is an amino acid, and further in presence of a water molecule, the ammonia will be liberated out and leads to formation of pyruvic acid. So this takes place in presence of water and it leads to formation of pyruvic acid with the liberation of an ammonia. So this is pyruvic acid and ammonia is liberated out. So this is the general reaction for serine dehydratase enzyme. Next is by desulfhydrases enzyme. So this is the second reaction by amino acid desulfhydrase. Desulfhydrases. So in this reaction we shall be considering the sulfur containing amino acids. Now let us first of all draw the structure of a cysteine molecule. So these are the sulfur containing amino acids. So this is a sulfur containing amino acid here, and we can clearly see that in presence of desulfhydrase enzyme, a cysteine molecule, so the name of enzyme is desulfhydrase. It is converted into the corresponding amino acid and during this process the sulfur groups are removed and this corresponding amino acid will be further subjected to hydrolysis in presence of water and liberates the ammonia. So ammonia will be removed out or deaminated and the corresponding pyruvic acid will be formed, the keto acid. So this is the general structure for the general reaction for sulfur containing amino acids. And similarly the ammonia lyases enzymes are also working, and so shall be the deamidases. So these are the common reactions that will be occurring. So I shall only be highlighting the what will be the reactions. What will be the reactions? The third is by ammonia lyases. So in this, a molecule of histidine is subjected to formation of urocanic acid by histidase enzyme and ammonia is removed out. Similarly, another reaction is there by deamidases. So in this we can see the glutamine is converted to corresponding glutamic acid and asparagine is converted to aspartic acid by asparaginase enzyme. So we shall be covering the two examples such as glutamine. You all know the structures of these amino acids. So this is an exercise for you so that you can draw the structures by yourself. Glutamine, it is converted to glutamic acid. And ammonia is removed. So keep in mind that glutamine is having two NH2 groups. Only the terminal amino group will be removed out. Similarly, in another example of asparagine, so in presence of enzyme asparaginase, it is converted into aspartic acid. So this is the conversion of asparagine into aspartic acid and ammonia is liberated out. So similarly, in the structure of asparagine, there are also two amino groups, and only the amino group which is at the terminal position with the CO carbonyl group, that will be removed, not at the second position which is with the carbon. So keep in mind. So students, these were the reactions which were important for the metabolism of amino acids. So we have covered out the transamination reactions, their mechanism, and also the formation of keto acids and the deamination reaction. So under the transamination we have discussed the example of glutamate and alpha ketoglutarate, whereas in deamination there are two phases, oxidative and non-oxidative. So by the oxidase enzyme and dehydrogenase enzyme we have covered the oxidative deamination, and in the non-oxidative deamination we have covered by using the dehydratase, desulfhydrase, ammonia lyases and deamidases. So students, I hope that the catabolism of amino acids is clear to you now.